Hey guys.
Hi guys.
Hey Peta.
Hi Kunta.
How are you? We've said all this.
Freezing.
But we're saying it for the camera.
I'm freezing. It was snowing the other day.
It was snowing.
It was beautiful.
Joburg was snowing, guys. It was actually real snow.
It was sleet in some parts and snow in other parts.
I see. Yeah. I only experienced
got the snow.
I got beautiful snow.
I felt like I was in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah,
I don't
really
know about
was.
you.
It was cold though.
It was
post snow
cold.
melting, because apparently that's when it gets really cold, when it melts.
No, it was.
It was
it was not cute.
And it's freezing today.
But at the time, I was like, oh my God, cue Mariah Carey's Christmas
Listen.
album. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't get to play in the snow though, so that made me a little bit sad.
I mean, I don't think there was enough
I had a meeting
to play in, or even to make a tiny little snowman.
People tried to make a snow tokoloshi
a snow tokoloshi
situation.
I
yeah,
love us.
shame.
I love us. Like,
I love us.
Why must
It
black
felt
magic always be involved?
It felt very whimsical.
Yes, absolutely. That is our whimsy.
But a lot of
tokoloshis.
Honestly, somebody was like, at South Africa we have all of the American experiences on a budget, because where did the snow come from? There was an earthquake, tornadoes, all the...
Really, there was. The other week there was like a tremor, but I slept through that.
I definitely was passed out.
Yeah,
through that.
I was dead and gone.
Yeah.
But apparently it shook the world. To quote
not my
Zoe
world.
Modiga.
We love Zoe Modiga.
We love her.
This is a stan account, yes.
Yeah, this is definitely Blacksterring stands you, Zoe.
A stan account.
Blacksterring
anyway,
stands you, dude.
Today we're not recording from my couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are at Spotify, Greasy Tunes, I think.
Cafe.
Yes, cafe.
Yes,
Spotify,
which is
Greasy Tunes Cafe.
Which is where Great Dane used to be. And
imagine that.
For
and
a lot of...
completely,
do you know what?
done up this
it's
place,
gorgeous.
Bruh.
It's green. It's branded in the best way.
It's branded
that doesn't feel
in the
kitsch.
cutest way.
I love good branding,
and
be
I love
honest.
kitsch. It does feel a little kitsch, but kitsch is my favorite thing.
Oh,
I like
okay.
this thing here we have going on here.
Yeah, there's so many doodles. You
So
have to,
many
if
cute
you're around in
things.
July, I've been to a few of the events.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, like they have
Apparently it
opening
launched,
parties, and
like-
basically it feels like a pop-up for July. So every week
Yeah.
they have a different theme, from like
Content,
Amapiano to hip hop
activations.
to
Yes, I see a lot of
mint. So
Amapiano,
this week is Amapiano
activations.
activations, and then next
Nice.
week is hip hop, I think.
Oh, nice.
And
Dope,
then I
dope,
think
dope.
the last week is Africanism, but
Ooh,
yeah,
nice. I'll definitely
yeah.
come
So
around
it's
for
like a mix
that.
of like masterclasses, performances, like quiz nights.
Dope.
Yeah, so it's really
I
cool
love
and really
Spotify
fun, to be
Greasy
honest.
Tunes as a name, because it's like content that just can feed your soul, because Greasy
Food does
is
feel like that.
really where you get to really
That
eat
is what,
some lovely, just like food, soul food.
yeah,
like
that is
soul food.
basically what puts you together after Night at Great Dane, which is no longer Great Dane.
Absolutely, and as just a shout out to the space, like
Yeah,
Great Dane.
this
Hey,
has held us
shout
down
out to like the OG
through our
and this
adolescence.
place is
really,
tiny. I mean, it's been done up. It's been completely changed up.
It's
like,
just. Do you feel like the muscle memory has come back to you? Because for me, I feel like it has. I walked in here and I was like, whoa.
I walked in, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is not
I
Great
know, but
Dane.
whoa.
This is not Great Dane.
It
They're
is, but it's not.
completely
Yeah.
The outside area where people would be packed
Packed to the rafters. Remember when they used to have Sunday
roast, the
yeah?
OG roast, the
Ooh-wee.
OG roast.
Oh boy.
Great Dane was a good time.
Such a great.
But
I mean, people would treat
kitcheners.
it like their mother's house, just standing on
Yeah.
the furniture.
Listen,
and
there
like,
was a line to come in here.
There
and
always
you'd have
was.
To get a
You'd have to,
code.
and the
You'd have to
bouncer
get a
could be mean sometimes.
yikes.
Ouch.
But
And
it
then
is
everybody
prom.
started going to
Bouncers
Royale,
are-
which everybody said was Great Dane for adults.
Oh, I see.
Which tracks when you think
I
about
guess
it?
I just went next door. Kitcheners has always been my
I do.
home.
I have such a love-hate with
terrible
kitcheners.
home. It's like home.
It's
Home is
just- I'm
terrible
just like-
sometimes, but it's like home.
Why do we?
You know?
There's certain establishments, like even when I think of Third Place, I was talking about Third
Ooh,
Place.
I've
the
never
other
been
day.
to Third Place.
You
I
missed
heard
it.
some shit
No,
about
no,
the.
you missed it.
Sorry
It's
for
done.
that.
Do you know what? Third Place in the
Is
Bandageso.
it done?
In the Panini, in the Panoramic, in the heart of the pandemic.
Ooh.
Third place was the only place that would open after
hours.
Curfew.
Yes, after curfew.
So,
because
the whole name is like, it's the third place that you go before going home. So you'll start at dinner, you'll do a nightcap for drinks, and then you'll end up
the
there.
last place.
And
for people who don't want to go home.
It was so, but like you couldn't leave. You would like wait out curfew there, which was quite crazy.
Because you can't in the streets. The cops were out here arresting us, guys. Arresting us.
It was raided a number of times. I didn't experience that, but like,
and it's
people were trapped in there with no music.
Carfax, right?
Yeah, it's there,
which
like
is one of my favorite
Newtown.
spaces. Really, Carfax is Carfax was a really great like place for live music. Shows.
Yeah,
yes, really dope. Like also just like I remember. What's the sneaker event? Sneaker something. Oh gosh, like that happened a lot there in Carfax by third place in Newtown. Yeah.
But no, like it's not, there's certain things that don't make sense anymore. Third place to me as a concept doesn't make sense anymore.
I still want to
because
go.
I'm just like, why?
You missed
the train.
I mean, some people are still heading there.
But like it won't be the same. Do you know what I mean?
But I mean, I don't even know
because
what the
you
same
can go
is.
other places or just go home.
Yeah, just
for
the experience.
Like there's no cheap thrill. Let me know what it's like. For me, I will never go back to that. Hey, now. People would do that.
Listen, that's why it's called the third place.
And then the
like
sun would come up. And then people would be like,
there.
all of my bad decisions. It's almost like, when you like make out with someone out at night, and then they turn on the lights, and then everyone is shocked at their decision.
Ooh.
You're like,
and
the
then
light
turn
of day.
on the lights.
It's the same effect as like seeing the floor of a place when they turn the lights on, and you're like,
and they definitely just like they just blast those lights on, like you just are not expecting, as if they don't ring the bell, as if they don't tell you, hey guys, it's over, you need to leave now, we need to go home.
And then even the DJ will stop and we'll all be there and be like, not one more song,
no,
one
guys,
more song.
Wait,
hold on, but we were dancing just now, just one more song,
but why we are here.
Yeah, why we are here. Outside of speaking about things that we do as
Greasy
grown people
good times,
and as
Greasy
adults.
Good times. Greasy good times.
That is a good pivot to adulting.
As a show. Oh my gosh, yes. We're talking about adulting on Showmax.
Yes.
Apparently there is another show called Adulting.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So adulting is the local one, at least, is a Showmax original.
It is a Showmax
by
original.
Chidza Pictures, and they do and they do The River, obviously, and they've won like SAFTAs and all the things like that.
Yeah.
Yes, so what is the
Some
show about? If you
homegrown
haven't seen it, it's a very wild.
If you haven't seen adulting, it's you should. I feel like we'll get into the nitty-gritties.
Yeah.
But the saying, boys will be boys. Ooh, go and watch that thing, because boys will be boys.
Do you know what?
And women know what boys will be boys means, but boys will be boys is an experience. Hey?
I mean, no, it really is a wild adventure. And for the 8 episodes you follow,
it was
4
8 episodes.
Friends. So you have Lutando Mtembu, who's Vuyani, Uvuvu, who's also Shakira. He's
toy
like
boy. He is the
he is sleeping with
I wonder if
a minister,
who is Winnie Machaba, guys. La
Kitty
Chocolata.
The face of La Chocolata.
Face of La Chocolata.
Yeah. And
she's there as his sugar mama.
She is, which it was a good flip for me. Like, it was interesting to have it the other way around. Because usually the story is like sugar daddy,
absolutely. And then we have the main guy,
Bonga, yes, who's Tembinkosi Mtembu as well, who is Shaka Zulu in the new
Ilembe,
Shaka Ilembe, which I'm really interested to see.
On the River, apparently.
He's on. I think he's on the Republic. Yeah. But he's Bonga, who is the guy who made it. He really is the. It feels like he's the
Beyonce of the group.
The Beyonce of the group. He's the one that will get people out of trouble, and he's the guy that you call. He is the. He's like the glorified fuckboy who has dad issues, from his parents.
We probably have like 75% fuckboy.
Different
going
flavors,
on.
Hey.
So he is the put together dad kind of fuckboy, kind of very.
He does have dad energy in the group.
He really does,
100%.
which I love. I definitely
do enjoy that.
A man
do you know what?
some like some stability some cash going on. We're in prom, guys. We're in prom. The taxis are out.
No, but you know what? I also morning. No, you're right. I do enjoy men that can make things happen. Yeah, the concept.
Yeah, the concept. You know what I mean? Love it. Without putting any pressure on our brothers. And our sisters, you know, it's just a nice concept. It's just a nice concept.
As like, because like you can't just call anybody to get you out of trouble. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that they consistently...
He gets a tender. Yeah. So the first episode
Wait. Let's circle the other two and then we're going to get to the first.
Go ahead, yeah.
So we have Mpho, who is Thabiso Ramusi, who is our favorite. Hubby Ho. I love that alliteration.
Goodness.
He is a married man.
He triggers me up and down, left and right.
Well, you know. Yikes. And then there's Nhlanhla Kunene, who is Tsikitsiki, Eric. Yeah, and they kind of round out the foursome. And I really have to say,
he is the troubled.
The hothead.
Yeah, the hothead, the troubled. Still. The guy who can't like let go of his vices.
Yeah, and he's
struggling
from Ikasi, and he has baby mama drama.
I think he is actually the most developed of the characters.
I would agree, actually. I would 100% agree.
Hopefully we'll get there in an hour.
But the first episode.
Oh my God. Yeah. The first episode, yes, we meet Bonga in a sex scene.
It's not PG.
It's not PG. Yeah, the sex is happening on the show. It's definitely
adulting is for adults.
It's for adults. It's definitely PG 45 upwards. You know, we really are seeing like it's on now. It's on now.
No violence.
No violence.
Which is
sort of. There is action.
Sort of.
There's
action, but not violent. It's not like watching The Wife, because The Wife was peak violence. I was like, people are dying.
Yeah, this is more like sex, drugs, alcohol, rock and roll.
Yeah,
it's like a
set
vibe.
in Johannesburg. It's like with piano as the soundtrack.
You know. We open on the first scene, or on the first episode, with him having a good time with
his girlfriend for the moment.
For the moment,
yeah, it seems, yes.
His lady for the moment.
It's giving Eternal Bachelor.
Ooh, it definitely
and he also had the list of rules, you know, that
we had this conversation.
But then also he did the
thing. But don't fall in love.
He did the thing. And you know what? Men can be gaslighty like that, I do have to say. That where they like give the boyfriend experience
they had the conversation though with Ugel, you know, and this is where I think we also just... I definitely think communication is definitely so bad between human beings in general.
It is.
But I think they had the conversation, and he does say
clearly they did. He did. He's like, don't do this.
Yeah, you know.
And he's very upset about it.
But she says,
however,
we had this whole experience.
Actions versus words.
You know what I mean?
So for me, rather keep the same energy, because it is confusing when people say one thing and then they do the other, right? Which is what he did, because you're like, this is strictly whatever. Yeah. And then,
but it always goes back to the contract.
Sorry.
It always goes back to the contract, to the terms and conditions. Like, no matter what happens, what does the email say? What is on the paper? What conversation was had?
And also,
sadly,
unfortunately,
but that's not the only reality.
It's definitely not the only reality. And because there are a lot of caveats, sometimes the email will say one thing and then bloop, you end up being in a whole relationship.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
they act like they don't get attached, but
exactly,
he does actually get attached.
Not to her.
Further down the line, not to her.
But
sadly.
It's interesting because then we see him get a tender and he's buying his
G-Wagon.
He's
one of those guys. He
buys the G-Wagon. We're going to Bonga.
And we're going to Bonga, guys. Listen, I still also need to get to Bonga.
However, I want a specific experience at Bonga.
Because apparently it must be a very specific experience.
It has to be very specific.
I'm not. Also, I don't want to be paying out of my pocket. No.
Yeah, there's certain places where it's better to be invited than to just go.
Yes, than to just be like,
do you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna.
It's
start the car. I'm gonna call the Uber.
No.
Call me the Uber.
There must be somebody who has a plug.
Yeah.
Where we're going.
Because apparently,
and there's a table. Because also, no, but even outside of that, I don't want to be a periphery hoe in certain spaces.
Oh my goodness!
I don't. I need a table.
Periphery hoe is.
I need a table.
Hectic.
No, I need a table.
It's hectic.
We're grown, bruh. Like we can't just be standing the idle back. No, it's not cute.
Absolutely.
Anymore for me.
I would imagine a table comes with comes with the experience. I mean, if I'm not going to go sit down at a place, what am I? But I guess, hey. Anyways.
At some places, yes, but then no.
Yeah, not at Gonka, but also need to see it to believe it. I have no idea how it goes down. I've seen the images and I've heard stories. I would like to see it to experience it. Yes, absolutely. I would like to see it. So he rocks up at Gonka. They are at Gonka. Yeah, right? They are at Gonka. And that first scene with his G-Wagon and he shows off to his boys. That's when we meet the brotherhood, the boys, and the boys are fine.
The boys are very attractive.
Yeah, and this chat about South African men versus, which I don't think I'd be getting into this conversation. I don't like that. I just want to say I don't like that. I think there's a lot that we're working with. And I think there's been a lot of hate arrayed, but there is something that we're working with.
No, we have something that we're working with. Yeah. And when South African men have got it, they've got it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
However, there are many obstacles.
Oh my God.
That's probably the most PC way I can put it. They're just like things. Really. And also, honestly, if you think about the way that South African women look versus the men, we're winning. Like, come on.
I mean,
South African women are
fine,
out of this world stunning.
Absolutely.
It doesn't even make sense.
Absolutely, we are. And I just think it's also a PR. Also, just like it's a chat about beauty and to be looked atness when it comes to women.
The attractiveness versus desirability,
or the manufacturing of creating an image. I feel like that pressure is there for women to look good.
100%.
The pressure is there for women to show up and look always. And it is almost a thing we police ourselves around as well as women. Is like, look good. Your parents, your mom will be like, no, clean up.
Yeah, a woman and like have matching underwear. Yes, like imagine if something happens and the ambulance will see you with mismatched.
Please, like just clean up. And I think with men, it's not the selling point with men. Looks are not really it.
What is the selling point with men?
What is the selling point with men? It's definitely not looks. I mean, men can get away with not looking good but having something and getting a bunch of attention.
I think that is some of my gripe. So the one thing is that men from other countries in general are better groomed. Oof. Do you know what I'm saying? So like,
but it also depends on what you like.
It will not be as crusty. It also
depends on what you like.
No, fair, but it's generally not as crusty dusty.
That's such a as it can
though. Be. No, I know, but no, that's why I'm saying just like generally, when you look at the general average of like South African men versus like Nigerian men or like Ghanaian, you look at manners.
Okay, general manners. I don't want to. I really. This is such a tricky conversation to have because I really don't want to offend any people from wherever But I do think that socialization is it's like I'm definitely gonna say like I've experienced a lot of like rudeness from Nigerian men. Nigerian people as well as people from out and South Africans, like so I don't. It also is a background thing, and it's a thing, because sometimes that bravado and that like taking over, that masculine like. I'm here, I don't have to say hi. See, that's the thing about men. I think
I don't like selling. That across the board.
You know what I mean? It's that your type. Do you know what I mean?
That gives me like a huge ick.
Like Tsikitsiki for me is almost an extension of that, or an idea of this guy who doesn't need to look good but is rough around the edges. And some women, personally, I like that. I like a rough around the edges, individual who's like, hey, I don't need to look too good, But no, also there is a sense. I will say
he's always put together. For the most part.
Compared to the compatriots, I think he's a lot more like...
It's more relaxed.
But it's definitely, not, which is what
it's more relaxed, but it's not careless.
Yeah, it's not careless. But it's definitely rough around the edges.
True. And I mean,
it's just generally
they're in very different spaces as well.
Definitely. Which I love that. I want us to talk about the friend group trope that you had mentioned.
Yes. So it seems like 4 seems to be the magic number, whether it's women, whether it's men. If it's women, we think of girlfriends, we think of Sex in the City.
Yes.
You know, like the number just always seems to be 4, and it always seems to work. Girls as well, insecure. You think of just generally the archetypes that people always play into, because when it's 6, it's usually mixed as men and women. If you think of Friends or How I Met Your Mother,
right?
Whatever.
Or Living Single.
Do you know what I mean? The original Friends.
What was interesting on Friends and Living Single is that the men lived outside of the whole.
It was
Living Single was Khadijah and them living together. Yeah. And then Kyle and the boys lived upstairs.
Which is exactly what Friends did, except across the hall. So it was like, but even then it wasn't everyone. So it's always 2. So in Living Single, it's Khadijah, Regine, and Sinclair.
Max was
Sinclair.
Max
and
was
then there's
always
one friend that stays
and
outside
it was
of
Jennifer
the apartment.
Aniston?
No, so in Friends, it's Rachel and Monica who are in the apartment, and then Phoebe is outside.
Phoebe was my favorite.
Yes, and then they stay, and then the boys always stay like across the hall. But there's always one person that doesn't stay there. That's always just like visiting.
Yeah.
So that they definitely kept the same.
But with this friend group, it's friends who hang out together, which is very much homegrown, which is very much like an idea I understand around friendship. My own friendship is like friendships. We have fun together.
Exactly.
We have fun together.
And that I really liked. I like the chemistry between the 4 of them.
Definitely.
It didn't feel
wonderful
forced.
Chemistry. Yes.
It really did.
Yes,
like I could believe that they are like friends.
You know, love that part.
So that I really enjoyed as well. And I like... It felt very familiar. Like, we're going to Sun City. I was like, I just went to Sun City with my friends. You know what I mean? Like, they were just things, and like we're all going out together. And like we're all like cracking jokes, and we're just having a good time. But also there's like life stuff that happens that we will sit with one another through the tough things as well.
I always ask myself with male friendships, because definitely a show for the male
gaze.
Maybe yes, the male gaze. Definitely.
I would say that it definitely is for the male gaze. Definitely a show for the male gaze. And then I look at male friendships, of course, versus female or other friendships, without getting too bounded around it. It's male friendships have seemed to me to be like good times, fun times, and the existence of toxicity in and amongst, and without calling things out. But that happens in female friendships groups as well. It's like we have this thing with our friends where we just love to have fun, and we also want to please our friends and impress them, but we don't call out, or we struggle around the heavier parts of life and processing together. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm just going to jump into the married guy just being Mpho,
in the first episode, he is with his affair, with his
long-time girlfriend.
I mean, my
mistress,
goodness,
yes. And she
goodness,
and it's interesting because she is now engaged, and she says they have to stop, and he's like, no,
she's now engaged, bro.
No, but why? Why
can
do
you
we have
believe
to stop?
that?
Oh, no.
He hands her over to Vuyani when the wife, and I'm
when
like,
they drop him off at home. That was rough.
And I'm like, you know, the male gaziness of this is very clear in relation to how women are brought into the story. Like, it's very stereotypical. We are about to give you a low rating, baby, because we have the wife, Zitu. Yes, very much just a wife.
She literally, even in the last episode, she's like,
not drowned it.
I was like,
that word. Now a wife. That is vocab coming straight out of a wife's mouth.
Yeah. And she said, do you think I wanted to be here with the kids, doing dishes, checking homework? I also wanted to be out with my friends. And you know what? I
just hate how
they sat in, and I have to say, they also sat in the stereotype of Nkanyezi being a man-eater. So
absolutely,
the woman who Bonga eventually goes after, strong, independent woman who's
almost a siren,
successful because it's like she's successful at her job, therefore she has no boyfriend.
Right.
We played into that archetype again.
Mara,
a very Mara, Mary Jane-esque,
right? It is. She's
strong,
like
successful woman.
Yeah, and
she doesn't want
she
a
plays
boyfriend,
hard to get,
and she
in the beginning,
but now it's a counter thing
she's
because
obsessed with you.
She's the one that has the rules. Where he had the rules before. And she had very clear boundaries that he kept trying to cross, which was kind of ironic because in the beginning, women try to cross his boundaries and he says no.
That's very true.
Yeah, and then he finds himself in the same position, just in a different context. And it's very messy because he's mixing business with pleasure because she is his business partner's younger sister.
The business partner. What a character.
Yeah. So, like it gets a little bit messy for sure.
Yeah.
Just in how that whole relationship, and I think like it brought up an interesting question for me around the boundaries with relationships and friendships, just in how she reacted to his friends
inside the relationship. She completely flipped for me
because she was also just like
somebody else.
Your friends are losers. Your friends are losers. I was like, whoa, that's too far.
You met me with my friends. What are you talking about?
And she kept hopping on
and just
I think even in the last episode after Tsikitsiki gets shot.
Yes.
And obviously they rush to the hospital, but she has her important, what do you call this? Like her work function. She just got a promotion.
Oh, yes.
And she's obviously upset that he's not there. Yeah, she's like working at PwC. She's like head of finance or whatever.
Yes.
Of course.
But
yeah, and then she just ends up being like, he got shot because he's a criminal. Like
just making those...
Which is true.
Which he
is at the end of the day.
He's a terrible criminal.
However, for me, her being like, your friends are losers, get new friends. I was like, that's a bit hectic for me. I don't know. I'm not sure about this.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. I was like, I can definitely hear the writers in the writers' room being like, chicks, they want you, and then when they get you, they start like being on your back, harassing you. That was the character. That was who I'm just like, it's not realistic to immediately now you are just now telling him, a grown man, that his friends are like, and his friends are his family, bruh. Like,
I mean, they'd been friends since varsity.
Like, and you met. No, sorry, you met me with my friends. Like, hello, But I get the chat of just like being in a relationship with somebody and the friends are somewhere involved. They are also part of it somewhere, which can be boring.
Yeah,
it can be borax, dude. Borax.
It was like cram.
Like,
so.
Oh, sorry.
It was cram.
Oh,
I have to say. It was crap.
It was literally like giving. Okay, I don't want to be involved.
Tsikitsiki. As you said, the most layered, I think. The most developed. Because it's him and Natasha who have this weird on and off thing.
Very toxic. Very
palpable
much like...
chemistry also. But
palpable chemistry. I mean...
Toxic.
They then ended up having sex at one moment, right? After, like... fighting hectically, which is what they do.
Which seems like what they seem to do.
Yeah, they just fight. All. And I mean... The first time we meet her is also at Gonka with...
Yes, and she's with her new
Babo person.
Babo. Yeah. Yeah, her new person. And I mean, like, then he becomes a hothead.
Which is like him. It's like from 0 to 100. Like,
dude, whoa.
Take a moment.
Just take a beat. You don't have to beat someone up every time. Like, relax.
Like, it's a beat.
Whoa.
It's just... Whoa. And then there's now drama in the club. There is now that drama in the club that I don't...
You the guy that broke into a fight.
Now
we must all fight. Do you know what I mean? Because we're the boys. The boys. So now we all throwing punches.
The points. The guy, what's his name? Vuyani in the car is even Vuyani like, dude, like...
Come on.
You need to let us know because we're not always all like wanting to fight. We just kind of
Vuyani
just
is
hang out.
such great comic relief as
really
the clown of the group. But
really
it's very interesting because,
he really is.
For one, I feel like they definitely don't take him seriously. But
They
also because he doesn't take
he
himself seriously. I don't think he takes himself to an extent,
as he should. I mean, towards the end,
he really
tries
pulls it together.
because I think he is like because it's difficult. It's difficult if you're like he's like an influencer photographer. I don't know. So like it's like the vibe.
But he also really just wants to be a sugar baby, and that's like his calling, and that's what he enjoys. He wants to go to Dubai and be wined and dined.
Like
and
he will put in the
work.
He will. He definitely.
He will put in that work.
Will work
to get there. And I will say it was weird seeing the face of La Chocolata.
Listen,
that way.
And I just.
And also they pushed it far because
she is unhinged.
The sex party, I was like, whoa, right? Is this too far?
And just lying to him.
But also, then the drama when he got a little girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
His age-ish. No, she was a varsity student.
Yeah, she was a varsity student.
She's younger than him.
Also another absolute trope. Like it's
trope.
Terrible.
Tropey trope.
Like naive varsity students.
Stars in her eyes.
Stars in her eyes.
He's fetching her.
Falls in love literally
in the polo,
5 seconds.
In the polo that his older girlfriend bought him.
Sorry. Like
he is now planning her birthday.
And they're not planning a birthday.
He's planning her birthday, elaborate birthday. He's lying about I want to be an events organizer. Kanti, it's my other girlfriend's birthday party.
But the amount of money that he has, the nerve to ask.
No, do you know what? For me, that was pretty wild. I said, wow. Then also Ketiwe, Miss MEC.
Exactly.
It's not Miss MEC. She'll always be Ketiwe. I'm sorry.
And she's unhinged.
No.
Like Ketiwe.
It's her coming to the club in a gown, being like, hey, let's go.
Hey, boy. Are you done?
It was very embarrassing. And do you know what? I have to say, I thought about Nkanyezi in that moment because I was like, can you imagine you just started dating this guy and his friends are unhinged in different ways?
Hey? And you know these people. You're like, hey, hi, how are you? And then you're like, what?
What is happening?
Is happening right now?
Yeah.
We're here at this party, but it's like,
whose party is it? But now he's dating the other one also. What? But like, what? Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, she's still wrong for what she said, but I also get it.
She is. But I also get it. I definitely like it. Is like
but
scary.
Do you know what? It's also a thing where people often weigh romantic relationships over friendships.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
That's such a true
a lot of the time it is like someone will get
that's so true.
A boyfriend or girlfriend and they'll just
ghost.
And then months later come back heartbroken and be like, oh guys, how's it going? And everyone's kind of like, it's a bit weird now, isn't it?
You just kind of
you
you didn't even put
nowhere
full
to
stop.
be
like
found. You just
that's I think that's also that's a pandemic. It's hectic. Yeah, people doing that. It is terrible.
It happens like quite often. Yeah. So it was interesting to see, the friendship placed over and I feel like because even like I think about the accountability thing and how it happens but to a point with them. So like for instance when it was Lele's birthday and Mpho stupidly allowed his mistress to buy a gift for his wife. And everyone was like, what are you doing?
Everything.
What are you doing? Everybody was like, what are you doing? This is too far. Like, what are you doing?
Can we talk about married men doing things like this, guys? Like, can we have that conversation?
The other one driving to the house.
Can you please?
And being like,
can we not just be tidy about it? No. Can we not be a little bit more respectful about the whole thing? This is like, for me, your wife. This is like a person. I don't know.
My bigger thing. I don't know. People need to stop marrying people they don't like.
Yeah. Men, you need to stop
marrying people that they actually don't like. You need to marry your friends. Because he actually does not like his wife at all.
But she is vanilla, and she's a human being.
Vanilla. Oh no, they made her so vanilla.
They made her so vanilla. Ooh.
The most interesting thing she did was have the affair with the personal trainer.
She did. Okay, you get
when
get
he
yours,
called that
girl.
family meeting, Mpho is so messy. He's so messy. What you're not gonna do is have a full affair and then call a meeting about me.
In my face.
No,
in my face.
Don't do that.
Give me the gift of your recent side piece. Let's forget about the fact that I don't even know that you've got a long-time girlfriend who broke your heart, and now you're coming. Like,
because they were also the in-betweeners, so it's not.
Dude,
remember when he was auditioning other ones?
You're just a regular.
Do you know what I mean?
You're just a regular person out here in the streets.
So it just like, it's really weird. And then I thought about the thing. It keeps coming up in conversation, whether it's a Twitter or TikTok, where people talk about the fact that men are attracted to women, but they actually like men.
Ooh.
And every time it comes up, I'm like, oh.
They definitely do. I definitely agree with that.
I agree with that.
Do
because they were like, if you think of like
other men,
how
women are tools in the in the showcase to impress other men. Yeah.
And I'm always left like, huh.
Yeah. Which is,
this is not incorrect.
Because
when
this
I
is
think about it. And the many examples.
And the many examples.
Not even on screen, just like in real life. You'll be like, huh.
Because I guess it's important to be the man. Like, I guess this is also like what the show is. There's just this force around like men. How do I put this? Like, it's important for men to be able to get women and to have women and like that age-old idea of like, hey, indoda abafazi baningi. That's how it goes. XYZ. That's how it goes. Yes. Yeah. Like if you're not like you know, like leading a slew of women just like throwing themselves at you in your imagination, like then you are not a man. And like that's I guess the whole show about it. It's like, hey, look at me, this is the kind of
because I also think about and I always think about sex, right, in relation to how often it's shown and how and whether or not it's necessary. It's shown.
Yes, true.
So for me, definitely the male gaze. I mean, we already spoke
definitely.
about that.
And you need a porn.
It was such a
It was very somewhere. Yeah.
It went over the line at some points for me. I think like.
But I don't judge that. I'm always like, I enjoy. Let's include sex. Let's include sex in the story and the storytelling, and I enjoy a good sex scene. I definitely do. And I've never been ashamed to say that but I get what you're saying. Is it necessary?
Yeah, every time. Because for me, I was
know?
like, every time.
Yeah,
and also it was interesting, even the varying degrees of nudity, because like there were some women
how sex is portrayed or shown or depicted. What is
would
the power
still
dynamic?
have like some underwear on, and then others who wouldn't.
Yeah,
and then there were moments where it looked way too real, and I was like, are they genuinely like doing it? Like, whoa, this is a bit hectic.
Like,
do you know what I mean?
There was even a moment, especially with Bonga.
I was like,
moments are
wow, okay.
Yeah.
But like it's very interesting because even when they go to Sun City and Sin City, as they called it.
Oh, nice.
I think that was even the name of the episode. But
because shout out to
Tsikitsiki doesn't sleep with anyone.
Yes, he's also just like definitely. Yeah, he doesn't sleep with anyone.
He's more concerned with his bag, his daughter,
which is like his everything.
It is so interesting also to see him as the dad, because they really did play into the archetypes of like friend groups, because there usually is a guy that's like a dad.
Who's like a dad.
But he, as a father, is interesting because he's a good dad. But the things that he does, he's very present. He's a good dad.
Very present with his child.
However, for her to be confronted
and she adores him, which is a good sign.
Criminal activity when he's doing the hijacking. Ganti, he's hijacking.
The angel and devil thing on him is hectic.
It's so interesting because she's literally like, we're being hijacked, but it's my dad that's doing this. And it's very jarring for her. Obviously, as a child, that's even more traumatic that like you're being robbed by somebody that you know.
And then only for your mom to then be killed, for Natasha be killed in the same way.
And then he gets shot again in the same way.
Again.
So it keeps...
And it's like it's a thing that keeps happening with him. It's like this losing...
Like he doesn't learn his lesson.
Losing his shit and then creating this like drama beyond violence, beyond like there's just no coming back from this. Like you...
And like you're not
have charges against you, and you just keep on digging your foot in.
And I mean, like it's also the thing of people never know when to stop, right? So it's always like one last heist, one last whatever, and that's always where you get caught.
Like, oh my god!
You know, because it's and even when he's in the hospital, and she's just like, you said you weren't gonna do this anymore. Like, what's happening? Yeah. And he's like, oh, I disappointed. And I was like, yeah, but are you going to stop though? Because like...
But how can he stop? He's like inside, which is just I think about you know, gangster movies and, you know, your Sopranos or whatever. Like once you start a crime, our parents would be like, stay away from crime. Like once you start, like
it's hard to get,
it's hard to get out. Even drugs,
like,
you know?
Yeah, it's hard to get out.
It's hard to get out. It's hard to get out. And like... The forces in the, you know, in the world of crime, you're in the vortex, and I mean, I guess the first hit of like a great, you know, job gone right, you know, it's just nice and easy to get to do this, and it's like the cost, because even Natasha, the cost is much.
Natasha dying that way in violence, I was like, oof,
that was hectic.
This is very bad. That's very bad.
Yeah, very bad.
That's very bad.
And I mean, he ends up going to prison, right? He ends up really just like, does he? Because he's bailed out a lot.
So they're waiting for his sentence, but they said at minimum it's going to be 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which is a long time. Oof. 10 years is a long time. He was like, oh, 1 or 2 years. They're like, no, babe.
Baby girl, you are most wanted. You are most wanted. I think 10 is actually...
The police are after you. They were like, ooh, not that.
And I'm just like, you are not like a petty criminal. Like,
no, they were like, you...
No, baby, you are most
wanted.
You've
been shot also. You've done too many things now. You've done... Also, the police, now you owe the policeman money. Like,
also that dynamic, you know, of like South Africa in the
but a part of me
corruption.
It's chaotic to say. I know it's chaotic to say.
Yeah.
The corruption can be better, feels better than the police brutality in the US there. Because our encounters with police, I will laugh, shits and giggles, cold drink money, fine.
Yeah.
But if there's a real like,
physical racism.
If you get pulled over, like physical, you just don't know racism, which way it's gonna go.
Racism that seems to warrant a physical reaction.
Yeah,
which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Like getting pulled over is not like you don't know if you're gonna make it home, which is that's a lot.
Getting manhandled, like, and it's like all black people, old children, men especially, you know, like it's crazy in the States. So I think I will take the corruption. I won't take it. Which is also terrible. We're always like, we won't take it. Yeah. We won't take it. But that's like, that's I guess our privilege, really. We can really just have conversations about it.
There is violence in certain areas, but not...
This is true as well.
Not like that.
Not like that. There's a different kind of violence. Yeah,
not like that.
There's a different kind of violence.
Who haven't we touched? Vuyani.
Vuyani's character we get to meet his parents, and we get to see his dad is just not into it.
Like at him, just
shamed,
sleeping around and not even working.
What kind of man are you? And he tries to come through. He tries to kind of like he tries to prove to his dad that even as a fashionista, okay, even as a toy boy, I can make it, Dad. Yeah, you know, like I can do this, and
he does. And like he knows clothes, and he's like
he definitely is good at that.
Yeah, he's good at the fashions. It is a skill, and you know, it looked like it was Tula Cindy's store.
Oh yeah, nice.
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, so it's interesting that he, you know, like that's what he. ended up doing. But for me, like, it made sense. And for him to then bump into MEC Ubeth there with the new him.
Yeah. With the new him. Was like, who was auditioning while he was...
Yes, while he was...
in the position, the position. But it's interesting, though, that relationship between the parent and just, like, parents not really getting, I guess, the fact that you're doing something different with your life, which, granted, like, what are you doing with your life, Vuyani? What are you doing with your life,
With him, it's not that chat, because he wasn't doing anything.
Like, he wasn't really doing
and
much.
And for me, the gag and the call...
and it is like
even Bonga's like, okay, you can be a site manager.
Yeah, like
literally just look at what.
J-O-B.
And he was like, I'll give you 12K. He's like, per week. He was like, hi,
because you what?
Hi, Bo. My guy.
Salary, my darling. Salary at the end of the month. Please, like, do you...
I mean, I'm already doing you a solid because you don't have to do anything. You just have to oversee people
and also
working. You don't have to do the work. You're not doing the construction.
I'm literally handing you, like...
And he was still like...
a lifeline.
How could you do this to me?
Such a prima donna.
How could you do this to me? You don't take me seriously. And those two, there's a lot of tension between those two.
There is, actually. They do
because
explore
I do
that. There is that competition.
There's a competition.
Yes.
To be the guy.
And it's
like... to be the top dog.
Yeah.
And Bonga...
to be the top dog.
Bonga, unfortunately, has...
the upper hand.
Bonga has big dick energy.
Definitely he just does.
It oozes out of him. He just does. Vuyani, sort of, but not like that. Yeah. Not like that. Unfortunate. And also Bonga has it together.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
He has it together. Maybe not emotionally, but like...
I mean, none of them have it together emotionally, no. So
it's not good.
Where it matters.
Because even at the end, where he goes back home to his mother's house, and then he finds his dad there, and he's like, "Why did you take him back?"
Yeah.
And then it becomes a whole thing of like, "This is why I'm afraid to be in a relationship because of you guys." And then it's like, "Ooh, okay, so
let's go back home and
this is why parents. We need therapy.
This is why we need to just call the lady." There is. I think I also like I want to find some sort of redemption from Mpho. And I remember
and why? That's interesting.
Because I just
he's very likable.
He is. He
however
likable.
He's terrible.
He is. Yeah. If I didn't, I'm judging him so hectically. My gosh, I'm struggling. Because,
it's really terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible, and he is likable. I guess that's the part of it. He's like a pretty boy. There's always like a pretty boy in the squad, like a Drake, a Craig David type of guy who's just
Why did you name all the light skin? And Mpho is the light skinned one.
But the stereotypes, like
that's so funny.
They live.
No,
they apparently live.
Yeah. But he is so pretty.
He is so pretty.
Oh
like,
my
lovely haircut,
goodness.
What
a handsome man.
What a handsome man.
No, yeah, like
and
genuinely.
then he uses it.
Yeah, no,
uses it. You know, not so handsome, are we? But I just struggle to find why, why. Like you say, it's just really, the message I get from that character is just like, don't marry people you don't like. Don't marry for appearances. Yeah. Men get to that stage where it's just like, time to get married. And it's like,
we're clocking 30. Okay, we need to just lock it down. Whoever the next one is, we're just going to lock it down. And I'm like,
pathetic.
You're doing both of you a disservice.
Both of you. You're wasting your time.
And also because we touch
and traumatizing yourselves.
Obviously, the invisible labor that she does.
Oh my God. Invisible labor is just like...
and then he's like shocked by the amount of labor when
he does
like,
nothing.
He
babysits.
Yeah, because she's like, okay, fine. If we're gonna do this, then we're splitting the work. I also want to be able to go to brunch and be out with my friends,
like
all the time.
How?
I don't have damn babies by myself.
I don't want to be.
And then at the end, like it was really funny. But at the end, when they're all having drinks, and he's like, I'm so bored. Oh my God, I'm so bored. Which, fair, it is boring. But you must both be bored together, babes. Cleaning and housework is not exciting for us.
I mean, come on.
It's boring.
It's boring.
It's very boring.
It's boring. It's boring. It's just like, but it's become this like
we don't like it either.
Job. job.
And for me, honestly,
a
big
job.
Outsourcing.
Yeah, outsource. Like, you know, but there is that expectation, and it almost is woven into like the value of marriage. In the value of marriage as a woman, you that's your value.
Because when you think about what wife material is, what does wife material usually mean?
That's what it is. You go in there, you make them.
It's manual labor.
It's manual fucking labor.
It's manual labor.
And no.
And
I'll clean my own house, thank you.
And it is a bit of a mindfuck for women.
Yeah.
Because,
some women do it, proudly.
Yeah.
Some women really, really, really perform the patriarchy really, really well. And I mean, that is why we have like patriarchy princesses. Yeah.
And I think, for me, it's always so difficult. It's a very tricky one for me, especially because of the family dynamics that I grew up in.
Absolutely.
So
all did, dude.
A lot of us did. And
I chayile time, hey?
Abhor the idea of just like continue. And I need a word as strong as
this is where I'm like, you are a writer. You gave me the exact word I needed. Like,
it just grates my tits. The unfairness of it all will always vex me.
Yeah. The prejudice.
So I can't.
The violence.
And
it's
I think,
violence.
and I'm also aware that is why something like acts of service is so important to me, even as a love language, because it was inculcated, like, almost just like it's very nice to have
force-fed
people do things because it's not nice when it's just you.
Yeah.
And for a lot of women,
and it's just like
it's like okay, it's Christmas. Who's gonna cook? And then it's us. We're cooking and we're washing the dishes and then you know what I mean. So like I really do abhor it so terribly. I hate it. Whoever my husband is, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we ain't
because what we're not gonna do is only have one of us wash the dishes.
If we can't outsource it, then we're going to find a way to both do it equally.
Yeah.
Because you need to wash after yourself, okay?
You have to, surely.
And you have to learn how to feed yourself and cook your own meals if you want a great meal, please.
Yeah, for me, it is adulting. We're adults.
Yeah.
Why can you not make yourself like a little dinner?
But there is also something about
it's weird.
Like, it's true. Very
like, you don't know how to feed
yourself.
Adulting. I'm like, you don't know how to feed yourself.
Guys. Adulting.
What have you been doing? Because, like, it's weird for me. I'm like,
it's interesting. Like I was talking to someone who was like, the only person who's adulting in this show is Tsikitsiki. The only person who is really going through what millennial and Gen Zs are now calling the pandemic of adulting. Like that's what Tsikitsiki
like we feel it through him, because almost like you feel it in different degrees.
Yeah.
Because like it's definitely different degrees.
The consequences of your choices, I think, are
very strong.
Key feature of adulting. Like,
and like every action has a reaction.
Exactly. Responsibility.
Yes. The others kind of
weave
on the line.
They're coasting, getting away with murder.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Very interesting.
It
Very
is
interesting, yeah.
But it's good. Do you know what? The way that they ended it was also interesting because it felt like there was and wasn't room for season 2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a very clean, I think even the last episode is called Full Circle.
Yeah.
And you could see everything full circle. Mpho was thinking about cheating again, even though he's promised to change. Vuyani is now going to Dubai with Undombi. Do you know what I mean? And then Bonga has seen another woman after breaking up with Nkanyezi. And
they break up.
Remember they break up. Yeah. And then her brother even fires him from the side. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Who am I forgetting? Then Tsikitsiki might not go to jail.
Yeah.
But it's all very full circle. So for me, I was like, are they going to do a season 2? Because I was like, this is almost like a mini-series-esque ending where it's like, you kind of closed it.
But
you left enough room for us to continue.
To write some more.
But
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want
I have
season 2?
I have no idea. I think I'd watch it out of curiosity.
Out of curiosity.
Because it gave me Ayeye vibes.
Yeah, definitely it did. Definitely it did. Which shout out to Bomb
Productions,
Productions and rest in peace to Tebogo Mahlatsi, who was the director for Ayeye and a lot of beautiful things.
It was really, really good.
Like it was really, really good.
It only had like one season now.
It did.
It was very short-lived.
And it was like but
it was very well done.
The performances were really great.
Like it gives me the same like texture.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Like
absolutely, it is like the child
the
of Ayeye.
Yes,
it is
like almost a progression of it.
Yeah.
Except that was in Adland, our favorite land of advertising.
Yeah. It's funny how advertising
is
generations, and then it's interesting how it feels like
then there's the Mad Men. I remember I never specifically couldn't watch Mad Men because I was like,
I also don't think I have
this.
Actually. I don't think I've actually.
This will trigger me.
It will.
I knew it would. I was like, this is my life. I don't need to see.
I don't need
a depiction of this
to fall in love with any sort of character like that because.
Should we rate it?
Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and rate it. Let's go ahead.
So we have our little system where we look at a number of different things
and we definitely are gonna have to we're gonna have to have a conversation because again, we are looking at the portrayal of Black people and the portrayal as well of Black women, you know?
Yeah.
And let's go into the portrayal of Black women here. Oh my God. Do the Black women pander to even the slightest stereotype? All of them, they are, yes. 100%.
Okay, so that's a
That is a thumbs down. Is there at least one strong relationship between Black women not fueled by a romantic situation?
Hold on. Wait. The thing in this show is that women are only there in relation to the men.
Yes, exactly.
But then you could argue that the show isn't about women and it's about men.
Exactement.
So I'm kind of like...
So we're also like, what are we doing here? But we're gonna just call it out. Yeah. Even though it's not for us.
We'll call it a spade. Yeah. This is how I felt about the last Kendrick album. It's great, but it's not for me. Specifically.
Definitely. Yeah. I will have some notes. On
what? Kendrick?
On anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
Whether it's for the male.
Yeah, I don't care if it's
the cats, the dog gays.
Yeah.
I'll have something to say about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is none of that. How are different types of Black bodies represented in relation to one another? Ooh. Lots of sex again. I go back to lots of sex.
But there was a difference in bodies, I want to say.
Yeah?
In the women, at least. But then I'm also like, Was it the thing where everyone was just attractive?
Yes, I think definitely.
I feel like it was the thing where everyone was just kind of attractive.
Yeah. Because nothing really. And I mean, the way in which women's bodies were shown it's very sexualized. It's linked to, it's going to go back to being sexualized, you know. So yeah. So no. Where are the Africans? Are they exoticized?
The Africans are everywhere because it's a South African show.
We're doing well with that. Full marks with that. Are Black women given the space to express a full range of emotions like joy, anger, or
sadness?
I mean, sadness. I mean, there is some emotion.
Yes, actually, because I think of Natasha.
Yes, absolutely. Anger with Natasha and vengeance and lust.
Love as well, because Bonga and Kanyezi got romantic at some point.
They did.
You know, when they were on the mountaintop.
They definitely did.
So I wouldn't...
Yeah,
I think I definitely still...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I could give them a mark for that.
All right.
Okay. And our score... So, because we love a potato... We stand a potato as a vegetable,
As a vegetable, so we're definitely...
There are different ranges. There's mashed potato, which is terrible beyond redemption. There's mashed potatoes, which is bad with some redemption. There's roasted potatoes, which is good in putting in that work.
Yeah.
Then there are fries, which is intersectional black excellence. So where does this fall? For me, it's not fries.
It's not fries.
I can say that for free.
Not fries. For free, I would say mashed potatoes. It's a mashed potato.
Mashed potatoes,
I would give
so
it a
it's
mashed
bad
potato.
with redemption.
Yes. Because the storytelling is a little janky on
Can
some
be
bits, you
a
know.
little thin.
Yeah. Which is always my critique as well. Like, just, you know.
Yeah.
But it's putting in some
But for
work.
me, I'm like,
it's putting in some
it's
work.
on
It's creating
the line
a conversation.
of roast in putting in the work.
It is. It's definitely
but
on the line there.
But I couldn't fully give it the roasted potato.
I couldn't.
Because there are things. But I think it
More
was a strong...
Yeah.
It was a strong attempt.
And it definitely needs to exist. Absolutely.
It
like we always say, like, black art in any way, in any form, definitely just needs to exist. Like, without reservation.
We should be able to be average.
Yes, we should be able to be.
It doesn't always have to be the best show in the world.
We should be able to be.
That will whatever.
Yeah, like, no. Stereotypical. That's just fine.
Yeah.
I guess, you know. It exists. It still exists. But yeah, that's that. Do we want to quickly give us a content before we run away from here?
Yes.
Time is running out. What's your content?
My content, I'm going to do music.
Yes.
So two things that I keep listening to. The first is Stefan Mahendra.
Okay.
Who is, I want to say it's UK R&B. It is so good. Nice. It's like delicious. It's like a little EP, very short.
Yeah.
Between that and Love Do Me as well, who is like
a
teenager making very good neo soul. It's quite amazing. Yeah. So she's a South African teenager that's
nice.
Has like a few singles out that are really good. And then the third thing, I can't seem to stop listening to Janelle Monáe's Age of Pleasure. And
mostly Lutely.
It's so interesting because people seem to be shocked by, I suppose, her showing her tatas, her titas and the tatas.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's the
But for me, I'm also like the album title, but also she's the same woman who said, "Get off my areolas."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Same
in yoga, several
like
albums ago.
Listen.
So it's not, like, if you really listen to it, it's not
She's
new.
like...
It's just a progression of her artistry, really.
Yeah, absolutely
but
it is. Absolutely it is.
Really phenomenal.
Yeah,
album.
it is. Especially
really
for the
like
themes. Definitely for the themes, definitely. I'm going to go with, for my content, I'm going to go with Christopher Brentwood, a.k.a. Brent Fires, a.k.a.
Oh, you used his government name.
My side piece. Wasteland, that album.
I loved it. Just celebrated 1 year, actually. Yeah. That was a good album.
Brent Fires.
Do you know what
oh my gosh. And the album is featuring the Neptunes. It's featuring writing by Sadiq. It's featuring Alicia in the most sexiest of songs.
Good. That song is so good.
Brent Fires, I love you.
Do you know what? And he's
Call me back.
I remember hearing
Call me back.
Brent Fires was one of those examples of where, like, somebody features on the song and they make the song.
Absolutely, always. A feature from Brent Fires is
heard
absolutely
him in
amazing.
Gold Link's crew.
Yes.
Everyone was like, "Oh,
yes." And the song was made because of him.
Made the song.
He made that song.
He did.
Oh no, Brent.
Yeah,
Brent is my guy. Brent is my. Need him.
He doesn't have. He's one of those people. Never a bad project.
Never a bad project.
Very cool. Also the visuals. For Wasteland are pretty cool.
For Wasteland are pretty cool. Love his fro. Yeah. Absolutely. And his lyrical content, man. Like, I quotables for days. Like, I really love his style.
And he
gives me such a 90s modern kind of... He
also sits in the energy of, like, toxic, chaotic
Absolutely.
Which we all love to hate.
Yeah.
And we know it because Usher, but, you know.
Absolutely. Like, he's just definitely a child, a child of Usher, I guess. Which sounds crazy, but...
No, but you know what? Much like people come from the school of D'Angelo, the school of Stevie Wonder, people also come from the school of Usher.
Ooh, Brent Fires.
Usher is the guy that he thinks he is.
He is.
Hey, people's boyfriends...
Like
Kiki Palmer's boyfriend going on rants and whatever.
And
do you know what I mean?
Also having been with apparently Chile.
He was in the early 2000s.
Years. That apparently it literally ended like
recently,
post 2010, like
that's
recently.
Crazy.
Like they've been chowing.
That was like an era.
Service announcements for many years.
Is terrifying.
Yes.
But do you know what? That was a time, and I would like to see Usher live still personally.
Absolutely, I definitely gonna go
that
see
Vegas
Usher.
show, like all the clips from the Vegas show. I'm like,
listen.
Yeah.
I'm definitely. And
he still
also
got it.
Vegas, also definitely Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Keith Lee also. I don't know if you know him. He like reviews restaurants in Vegas on TikTok, and I didn't know that food in Vegas was that good. But now I want to go. Like the things that he eats, I'm
junk
like,
food. It's the junk food.
But also soul food, but also like time, but also
nice.
like the things that he tries. I'm always like,
nice.
oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Wow.
That is us. Follow
That is us, guys. I want to.
At blacksterring.
No.
There we go.
Yay to us. We've done this. Cool.
We did it. Follow us
yes,
at
blacksterring. We're going to be
Instagram,
on
TikTok, Twitter, everywhere.
Look out for us on this nice platform. Shout out to
Yeah.
Spotify, Greasy Tunes Cafe.
Thank you for having us. This was really fun.
Thank you.
And let's like make more local content.
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
Nice. Bye.
Bye. Be good. Be warm wherever you are.
Yay. How about that, man? Bye.
And scene.